He sent me a picture of an infected peen.
Girl, you make me go so loco, loco, make me go crazy. We would make a beautiful baby. Knock on wood, is you trying to date me? Is it yes, is it no?
I was walking in self-checkout and he was pushing a cart, and I kind of saw him in my peripheral, but I was more so paying attention to the baby that he had in the cart. And like he had like two kids as well next to the car. They were both like 7 or 8. Honestly, I didn't even know if it was a guy or a girl pushing the cart, but because it was such a quick interaction, and then I went to go check out. So on my way out, I saw someone in red, which is the same color that the person with the baby was pushing, in my peripheral. They got my attention and I stopped, and he told me that I was beautiful and that he wanted my number. And with people, or like with men, certain men, sometimes I get so frazzled or like so nervous that I just forget to like give them like the fake numbers, like the texting app numbers that I have. And then I went to my car and went home. I checked my phone and I already had a text from him asking me if I was single and how long I'd been in the state that we're in. I told him that I was here. I've been here for a few years now, and that I didn't have a boyfriend, but I don't date men. So, and he was like, okay, that's cool. You know, I'm looking for friends too. So he asked me if I had any kids. I said yes. I had one. And I asked him if he had any kids. He said that he had one, but he said that he had a son who was in San Francisco, which is where he said he was from. If I didn't mention that already, he said that he's only been in the Midwest for 2 weeks, which I knew was a lie because the area code on his phone was the area code of like the region that we were in. So I'm like, if you just moved here 2 weeks ago, why would you change your number to, and I'm sure some people do it, but if your number's completely fine, then why change it? Maybe I was thinking too deep into it for somebody I don't even plan on dating. He started talking about how he made $40 an hour. So then he started asking me when he could see me again. Made sure to reiterate, I don't know, I'm really busy, but if you want to hang out, I just want you to know I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not going to date you. And he also made it a point. He asked me if I was single. I'm not sure if I said this part, but he did ask if I was single. And I told him that I don't date men, but no, I'm not single. And he said, well, I don't have a problem also being your boyfriend while you have a girlfriend. After I kept reiterating that I don't like date men, he kept promising not to break my heart. And I'm really thinking that he thought that I was just so scorned by men or something like that, and that's why I didn't want to date him. That was that. We started talking about tattoos. I sent him a picture of, because he wanted to see my wrist tattoo, and then I asked him if he had any tattoos, and he sent me a full body picture of him flexing, and I was just like, okay. But he never told me what the tattoos were. He just sent me the picture. I had a feeling that he was going to be very interesting. I just asked him, like, were you waiting for me when I was like about to check out? And then he said, oh, wasn't that obvious that I was waiting for you? And then after he said, was it obvious or something like that, he sent me a picture of a car, like a luxury car. And he said, oh, I have this in black and white. I immediately texted him, this isn't your car. Because I just knew, this is not your car. So, the detective that I am, I took the photo, dropped it into Google Images, and boom, a whole bunch of Pinterest photos of that same car. Then he just kept he would text me pictures of himself, and I would constantly tell him, you don't need to text me pictures of yourself. I don't, it would be, good morning, a picture of him flexing. Like, why are you doing that? Only texting for about 4 days. We never talked on the phone. And there was one day, which I think was the last day, that I texted him from my number. So he was texting me, and when I'm in the office, I don't usually respond to text. I wasn't responding, and then I got a text from an unknown number. It was a picture of a girl, and it just said, hey. So I immediately responded, what is up with y'all and these Google images? The timestamp of when the picture came through and from the last text that he sent from blowing up my phone were like, they were identical. And I had confronted him about it later on that day after I worked the rest of the time from home. I was like, did you just text me? Like, why did you text me a picture of a girl? And he was sitting there like, oh, well, I don't know. How could I text you from multiple numbers if I only have one phone? Sir, you tried to catfish me. He literally tried to catfish me. Before that, the night before, he wanted to go for drinks. He asked me if sometime I'm free to go for drinks, and I was like, yeah, I'm busy, whatever. And he was like, I'll pay for the sitter. In fact, I'll pay all your bills if you let me go down on you. And he was like, come on, like, do I have a chance at all? And I was like, no, you don't. And then he was like blowing up my phone, like the good mornings and all that. Asked him for his Instagram or his Facebook or something, and he said that he's been locked out of it for a few weeks, so he can't get into it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, can I just know your name on there so that I can just send you like a follow request or a friend request or something? Because I knew he was lying. And he said, oh, well, actually, I don't have a Facebook or an Instagram anymore. I never actually had one. After I didn't respond, later on that night, he sent me a picture of an infected peen. Like health class, 8th grade, STI, STD segment of the class. He sent me a picture of an infected peen. And I could not rack my brain. I was so I wasn't even disgusted. I was irritated. So I went off and I was like, dude, you're a liar. Like, please stop talking to me. You're being weird. Like, why would you send that sort of picture? Like, da da da. Like, I was going off. And then I blocked him. And then the next day I sat back thinking about it. And I'm like, I really want to see if this dude could ever tell the truth. So I told my cousin, I gave her his number and I just had her text him, and he thought it was me. I told her to text as me. They eventually talked on the phone, and she was saying that when she was on the phone with him, she could hear like a baby in the background, but not like in the background, but it was as if he was holding the baby and like he was on the phone. So like she could hear the baby clear as day. She asked him, is that your baby? And he was like, oh, I didn't want to tell you, but yes, like I have he either said 3 or 4 kids. I don't know why I'm thinking he said he had 4. She was like, okay, well, why did you lie about it? And he was like, oh, well, I didn't know if you wanted to date somebody who had kids. And of course, her as me, she's like, but I have a kid, so why would you do that? And I told you that I don't date men. Oh, well, I thought that if I didn't have kids, I'd have a better shot. So she asked, okay, what about the car? Like, is that your car? Like, your work? Because if I didn't mention already, he said that he drove trucks and that he got paid $40 an hour, but he said that his job relocated him from San Francisco to the Midwest. So she was like, did your job relocate you? Like, did they actually relocate you? And he was saying, well, no, I actually don't have a job. That's not my car. That's actually my child's mother's car, which I don't believe either. And he was saying that, oh, well, I'm actually staying with her just until I can get an apartment. And I was sitting back like, how you gonna get an apartment? You ain't got no job. Oh, he was still trying to ask her, well, me, he was still trying to like get us to go on a date, but he wanted me to come pick him up and go on the date, and he could just have somebody that he knew babysit my kid while we go out. And I was just like, so he was saying that he sent the picture of the peen because he was upset or something. No, he was saying that, well, I didn't want to send you a picture of myself if you weren't going to send a picture of yourself. which I thought was so odd because I never asked for a picture. Like, I could understand, well, not the infected part, but like I could understand why you would send a peen of somebody else, but the fact that I never asked for a picture and you just up in the midst of the night, here's an ad for the free clinic. Like, why did you do that? So yeah, but then eventually he did admit to the catfish picture, and he said that the reason why he sent that catfish text is because since I didn't date men, he thought that I would be more apt to talk to the girl in the picture versus him. So I'm like really trying to understand. And by the way, he said he was 28. So I'm really trying to rack my brain around how he thought that he was going to pull off this car scheme, taking me on a date scheme, him being a female scheme. Like, I didn't understand how he was going to pull all this together in order to get some poom poom. Like, and he wasn't gonna get it anyway, but like, how did he think, okay, I'm gonna catfish her with this female, and if they meet up, then what? Like, are you gonna just pop up and be like, hey, like, just kidding, it's me? Yeah, that's basically the end of the story. He eventually admitted to everything. He had one additional kid along with the other three, so, and he said that he could not add me on social media because he has pictures of his child's mother on there, and he didn't want to make it seem like they were together, even though they had couple pictures on there. That's what he was saying, that they had couple photos, and that he didn't want me to have the impression that they were together. So he didn't even want to add me. That's all I wanted to know. After she got the information and he admitted to everything eventually, I was over it, and I was just like, okay, throw it away. All right, and to wrap up this video, we officially hit 1,000. I'm so happy. So if you guys have any business inquiries, any video suggestions, if you want to leave a comment below or anything like that, video ideas, questions you have for me, you can ask them in my email. I also have an Ask FM, so if you guys have any questions you want to ask, you can ask them anonymously if you are too shy, and that's perfectly fine. Like, if I get enough questions on Ask FM or in my email, I will do a whole video just answering those questions, whatever. I will literally answer any question. I'm serious. That is the end of this video, so I will see you guys in the next one.